On one side is Saint Kabir, the unique great yogi and social rebel who fearlessly struck at the hypocrisy of both temples and mosques. He was not a saint bound by any tradition or institution, but spoke based on the fire rising from within in search of truth. On the other side are the Upanishads, the pinnacle of divine knowledge, called Vedanta, meaning the supreme crest of the Vedas, their jewel. At first glance, these two traditions seem to be opposite to each other. On one hand, a weaver resonating in the vernacular language, who sits at the loom weaving the threads of Brahman into the fabric of life. And on the other hand, the ascetic voice of sages in a deep forest environment, who interprets the profound meaning of Brahman in the refined sounds of Sanskrit. But the question is it not possible that both are two different melodies of the same supreme truth? The Mahavakya of the Chandogya Upanishad says, Tat Tvam Asi, meaning that Brahman is you. And centuries later, Kabir's voice resonates among the people. In every heart dwells the same Lord, do not speak harsh words. The difference is only in language and style. The soul is the same. Today we are going to open that invisible, unheard door where Kabir and the Upanishads both merge into the waves of the same great ocean, Brahman. This journey is not just of knowledge, but of discovering oneself and meeting one's innermost being. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads. Virtual differentiation. The main reason for Kabir's popularity was his fearlessness and unwavering rejection. He blew away the birth based caste system like a straw, questioned scriptures and rituals, and repeatedly proclaimed that God is not in some distant sky, but present in your simple life itself. His lines were, If the priest worships Hari and I meet him, then I will worship the priest. Otherwise, the millstone is better. The world grinds it. This was a direct blow, a strike that shook the public. In contrast, the world of the Upanishads is serious and mysterious. Their language is divine Sanskrit. Their background is illuminated by the aura of sacrifice, yajna. And their disciple teacher relationship involves a discipline that imparts knowledge only to a worthy seeker. From the outside, these two worlds appear to be opposite to each other, like the scorching heat of a blazing afternoon on one side and the silent light of a cool moonlit night on the other. But it is this external difference that confuses us. Just as one might look at a hard shell and deny the possibility of precious pearls hidden inside, similarly, we confine Kabir merely as a devotee of the formless, and the Upanishads merely as philosophical texts, placing them within a limited framework. The reality is that this distinction is superficial. At a deeper level, both are forms of the same undivided ocean, the realization of Brahman. Though the valley between two massive mountains may seem deep and inaccessible, at their base lies the same undivided rock that has connected them for ages. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads, the secret of Neti Neti. The deepest aphorism of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is Neti Neti, not this, not that. This is not a definition, but the negation of definitions. Saj Yagnavalkya explains, it is neither fat nor thin, neither small nor large. It is intangible. It cannot be grasped by the senses. In this process, the practitioner's all perceptions break one by one. After each belief is removed, the silence that remains is Brahman. Now listen to Kabir's words. Neither Hindu nor Turk, neither religious nor irreligious, neither letter nor form, O mind, where do you search for it? This is rendering the philosophical language of the Upanishads into the simple language of everyday life. The Upanishads adopt the path of negation and reasoning. Kabir strikes directly at the heart. The result is the same in both cases. When the coverings created by our mind, the layers of our ego, are removed, Brahman reveals itself in its natural and unadorned form. It is like refining gold in fire to separate its impurities. Nothing is added to the gold, only the impurities are removed. The Upanishads purify the seeker with the fire of discernment and reasoning, while Kabir does so with the warmth of experience and love. If this connection deeply resonates within you, give your consent to this journey of thought. And if you see any contradictions in it, feel free to share your perspective. Your thoughts will make this dialogue even more lively and multidimensional. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads. The secret of Tat Tvam Asi. In the Chandogya Upanishad, the sage Udalaka teaches his son Shvetaketu the knowledge of Brahman. Shvetaketu had returned after studying many scriptures, but he was arrogant about his knowledge. Then Udalaka performed an experiment. He put salt in water, and the next day asked his son, "Where is the salt?" Shvetaketu could not see it, but he experienced its taste in every sip. Then Udalaka said, "Son, just as salt is invisible in water yet pervades everywhere, similarly, that truth, that Brahman, is present everywhere in this world and within you. Tat Tvam Asi, that Brahman you are." This sentence is not of ordinary teaching, but a symbol of a divine proclamation that shakes the soul. Now listen to Kabir's words. "Where do you search for me, O servant? I am right beside you. I am neither in the temple, nor in the mosque, nor in the Kaaba or Kailash. If you become a seeker, you will find me immediately without even a moment's search. Both, without any intermediary or pretense, take the seeker directly to their core." The difference is only in language and style. On one hand, the profound aphorism of Sanskrit, and on the other, the simple song of the vernacular. Difficulty arises when we consider Tat Tvam Asi merely as an academic quotation and lose its vitality. Kabir lives that very truth and brings it down to the earth of life. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads. Kabir's Nirguna Brahman. Kabir repeatedly utters the name Ram in his verses and couplets, but he immediately clarifies that his Ram is not the historical or mythological figure associated with the throne of Ayodhya. He says, Dashrath's son is praised in all three worlds. The essence of the name Ram is coming. For Kabir, Ram is that formless, attributeless consciousness that is not bound by any form, guise, or time-limited personality. One of his lines, Ram, the playful Ram, is one who dwells in every heart, makes it absolutely clear that Ram is essentially that fully developed level of consciousness that pervades every heart. In this context, the statement of the Upanishads also reveals the same truth in different words. The Mahavakya of the Aitareya Upanishad, Prajnanam Brahma, interestingly expresses that Brahman is not some external object, but pure, attributeless consciousness, that is, pure awareness. This consciousness is neither manifested in any form nor constrained by any quality. It is revealed only through experience. The meaning is that both Kabir and the Upanishads point to the same formless truth. One conveyed it in the common language of love and simple saintly life, while the other preserved it with the profound subtlety and philosophy of the sage tradition. Kabir translated this principle into the language of huts, looms, and markets, reaching the hearts of ordinary people. The Upanishads elaborated it in the context of the purity of forests and hermitages. If the Upanishads are the profound vision of the vast ocean of Brahman, then Kabir brings a wave of that ocean to the shore and hands the seeker a simple boat. Though the boat may be small, it is made from the truth of that very ocean and is capable of helping one cross over. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads. The transcendence of Maya. The strategy of both. In the Upanishads, the distorted and multicolored appearance of the world is called Maya or Avidya, that power which, by showing the one Brahman in many forms, creates the illusion of duality. The famous maxim of Advaita Vedanta is Brahman is the truth, the world is false. Here, the subtle meaning of false is that the world as it appears is not permanent, infinite truth. Its nature is relative and impermanent. The Upanishads resolve this through discrimination, observation, and rigorous constant practice. Neti Neti, not this, not this. Reflective contemplation, samadhi, and continuous self examination. Kabir expressed the same complex principle in a vivid metaphor. Maya is a great deceiver, we know. She swings us with the noose of the three qualities, speaking sweet words. For him, Maya is a cunning deceiver who snatches away through sweet words and alluring forms, while the Upanishads remove the coverings layer by layer through reasoning. Kabir burns those coverings with the fire of love, separation, and direct experience. The result is the same. When the coverings are removed or burned away, the pure witnessing consciousness that remains is what leads to the experience of Brahman. Both these paths, the path of knowledge and the path of devotion, are complementary to each other. The discernment awakened by knowledge and the love inspired by devotion together remove the veil of illusion from its very roots. To understand this, imagine the Upanishads pierce inward like a sharp light, illuminating the depths of the self, while the words of Kabir light a lamp in the outer darkness, guiding the seeker along the path. Both are essential. Without one, the other remains incomplete. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads, society and accessibility. In ancient times of the Upanishads, Brahma knowledge was considered a mysterious rare heritage that was given only to worthy disciples, in accordance with the tradition of Nigudam Gudham, the secret within the secret. Guru disciple confidentiality, strict conditions of instruction, and long discipline were associated with it. The advantage of this method was that the seriousness of knowledge was preserved. However, the downside was that many hardworking, poor, or socially deprived people remained distant from it. Kabir challenged this structure and opened the public repository of knowledge. He said, "Do not ask the caste of a saint, ask for their knowledge." For him, the basis of attainment was not birth, high or low status, or educational institution. It was directly connected to the capacity of the heart and the sincerity of the seeker. For this reason, Kabir considered Dalits, women, the illiterate, and those standing at the lower rungs of society equally eligible to attain Brahma knowledge. This was not only spiritual accessibility but also a social revolution, the democratization of knowledge. Here it is important to understand that the tradition of the Upanishads and the accessibility of Kabir are not contradictory, but rather complementary to each other. The Upanishads maintain the purity of knowledge through deep meditation and discipline. Kabir brought that same truth into everyday life, making it practical and accessible to all. Kabir transformed the path to knowledge from steps into a gentle slope filled with love, but he did not give superficial knowledge to those who descended that slope. Instead, he pointed towards the true experience of self-awareness, so that every seeker, no matter how weak, could delve within. If you also want to stay connected with us on this spiritual journey, then subscribe to the channel. Every new explanation and every new mystery will reach you automatically, and you will be able to benefit from this knowledge from time to time. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads. Personal experience. What should modern practitioners do? This knowledge is not just to be heard, it is essential to apply it in life. In fast and complicated times, there should be some simple and profound practices that carry both the depth of the Upanishads and the simplicity of Kabir. Just feel them and let them gradually settle into your life. The constant practice of Neti Neti. Not this, not this. Upon waking in the morning, sit quietly for 2 minutes. Close your eyes and allow your breath to settle into a natural rhythm. Then, consciously bring to mind each identity you associate with yourself. I am employed. I am a father or mother. I belong to a particular religion. I am intelligent or unskilled. And gently release them one by one. With each letting go, observe what remains when every label falls away. Notice the silent, unchanging awareness that continues to witness all. Rest in that pure presence, for that alone is your true nature. By practicing this regularly, you will be able to maintain the witness consciousness throughout the day's activities. Start with 2 to 3 minutes initially and gradually increase it to 5 to 10 minutes. A simple devotional remembrance of Kabir. Before any important task or in a difficult situation, just say in your mind for a moment, Ramtaram Ramaya Ek. This is not a chant or a magical formula. It is a brief remembrance that allows the ego to pause slightly, and the action is performed with clarity and dedication. Use it naturally in work life, family corridors, or while traveling. The social application of Tat Tvam Asi. Whenever you feel inclined to discriminate against someone based on caste, religion, gender, or social status, pause for a moment and remember Tat Tvam Asi. Feel that the person in front of you is a part of the same consciousness from which you are made. This brief remembrance reduces linguistic and behavioral distance and naturally generates respect, empathy, and compassion in the interaction. Weekly digital silence, solitude practice. Once a week, spend at least 1 hour keeping all your devices, mobile, laptop, TV, turned off and be in silence. If possible, sit in a quiet place and slowly observe your breath. Do some self inquiry and reflect on a simple passage, a couplet by Kabir, or a saying from the Upanishads. The modern ascetic's forest retreat is this digital detachment. Separating yourself from external stimuli for some time brings inner peace. Keep the element of questioning alive continuously. Both Kabir and the Upanishads emphasize the importance of questions. These questions keep life inquisitive. Make it a practice to spend some time daily sitting with questions like who am I and who is experiencing this? Questions are the robes of exploration. Even if answers do not come, this process lifts your mind from inertia and complacency. Hold the questions with the seriousness of the Upanishads and the simplicity of Kabir, serious yet simple, inquisitive yet loving. Ultimately, these 5 practices daily reflective contemplation, simple devotional remembrance, the application of Tat Tvam Asi in society, weekly silence, and a question based life will lead you to the nectar of both the depth of the Upanishads and the simplicity of Kabir. Even if the results are not immediately visible, you will certainly experience a clear reduction in ego, clarity in life, and the long term sanctity of the path. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads, Brahmanubhuti. Where do both paths meet? When the sage of the Upanishads is immersed in samadhi, his experience manifests in the form of Aham Brahmasmi, that is, I am Brahman. There is no other truth outside of me. Kabir sings the same truth in his transcendental ecstasy, saying, the redness belongs to my beloved. As far as I look, everything is red. When I went to see the redness, I too became red. Here too, the experience is the same. As long as the I exists, Brahman cannot be realized. And when the I completely dissolves, only Brahman remains. 2 paths are clearly visible here. On one side is the path of knowledge, like the rugged peaks of the Himalayas, where every thought and every identity must be cut down by the sharp axe of discernment. This path is serious, cool, and deeply disciplined. On the other side is the path of love, like the gentle plains of the Ganga, natural, flowing, and full of nectar, adorned with the flowers of song, devotion, dance, and complete surrender. The choice belongs to the seeker. Yet the most beautiful truth is this: both paths, though different in their journey, ultimately lead to the same summit. Along with spiritual practice, the ego like air becomes thinner. Kabir called that state the natural void, where there is neither insistence nor opposition, only pure silence. The Upanishads called it the infinite sky, where everything is contained and yet everything is void. Language and symbols differ, but the destination of the experience is the same: supreme fullness in supreme emptiness. To reach this divine point of union, no external qualification is needed, only one condition. One must abandon the entry pass called the self right at the door. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads, the connection between science and culture. This discourse is not limited to spiritual imagination alone. Modern neuroscience, when studying the brain, finds that a default mode network remains active within us. This network is connected to ego centered thoughts. What do people think about me? What will my future be like? Research has shown that when a person reaches a deep state of meditation, which the Upanishads call dhyana and Kabir calls sumiran, this network begins to quiet down. With this peace, a person's creativity, compassion, and sense of unity increase remarkably. This is why Apple founder Steve Jobs came to India to practice yoga and meditation and considered it a source of his creativity. Bill Gates, even today, takes a thinking week to retreat into silence and solitude. India's sages had stated this in a sutra thousands of years ago. Yogash Chitta Vritti Nirodha, meaning that only when the fluctuations of the mind cease does the seer remain established in their true nature. Kabir expressed this profound science in the simple language of folk songs, while the Upanishads wove it into philosophical aphorisms and the Vedantic tradition. The only difference is in the craft. On one side, the fiery arrow of engineering, on the other, a simple sling. But the same rules apply to both. Science and spirituality are both attempting to read the same book of truth. Only their laboratories and instruments differ. The unheard secret of Kabir and the Upanishads, dispelling common misconceptions. Many misconceptions arise in the path of understanding the teachings of Kabir and the Upanishads, which need to be cleared. Misconception 1. Upanishads are only for Hindus. Truth. Mahavakyas like Tat Tvam Asi and Aham Brahmasmi do not mention any sect, caste, or religion. It is the science of human consciousness, meant for every seeker who wants to unravel the mystery of their own existence. Misconception 2. Kabir was a Muslim saint, so he has no connection with the Upanishads. Truth. Kabir was born into a Muslim weaver family, but he described himself beyond these identities. I am neither Hindu nor Muslim. His teachings are about the formless Brahman, which is completely identical to the Brahman described in the Upanishads. Misconception 3. Nirguna Brahman has no form, therefore idol worship is meaningless. Truth. Form is only an external means. For those for whom meditation on the formless is difficult, temples and idols serve as tools to awaken concentration and devotion. Both the Upanishads and Kabir value the inner feeling more than external symbols. Misconception 4. Spirituality does not help in material prosperity or worldly life. Truth. Ego and conflict destroy the energy of an organization and family. Spirituality is not limited to meditation and practice. It also improves our behavior, leadership, and way of working. Where ego decreases, teamwork and productivity increase. This applies everywhere, whether in an office or an ashram. Misconception 5. These ideas are limited only to personal practice and have no impact on society. Truth. Kabir laid the foundation of social revolution by challenging the caste system and religious fanaticism. The Upanishads conveyed the message of unity and harmony to the entire society by stating, all this is indeed Brahman. Both lead society towards love, compassion, and equality. When the clouds of confusion clear away, only then does the knowledge of Kabir and the Upanishads reveal itself in full light, and the seeker sees everything illuminated both inside and out, unveiling the unheard secrets of Kabir and the Upanishads. At the end of this long journey, you have directly experienced that the profound Neti Neti of the Upanishads and Kabir's spontaneous Gat Ram are essentially two different aspects of the same coin. The Brahman described by the Upanishads as formless, indescribable, and invisible was conveyed by Kabir to the common people in the sweet language of love and experience, as formless love, spontaneous experience, and remembrance. Both traditions proclaim in the same voice that the search for that truth should not be done in external temples, mosques, or scriptures. It should be sought within your own breaths, in the deepest silence of your own heart. No matter how different the paths may appear, on one side stands the lofty Himalayan path of wisdom and reason, where the seeker advances by carefully examining every thought, and on the other side flows the Ganga of devotion and love, rich with the essence of song, dance, and surrender. Yet both these paths ultimately lead to the same destination, where the sense of I dissolves and Brahman reveals itself. This profound point of union still feels mysterious today because we often become entangled in words, arguments, and external forms, and in doing so, forget the simple art of listening to the silent music within ourselves. Today's era is also an extension of the same mistake: the numerical chaos, the politics of identity, the blind race for consumption, and constant distraction. In such times, the serene depth of the Upanishads and the pure melodious voice of Kabir together call out to our inner self: You are that. When this sentence ceases to be mere intellectual information and pierces the inner self, it becomes a universal message beyond any religion, caste, or class. The only question that remains is: Am I willing to accept that supreme truth beyond the self imposed boundaries? If the answer is yes, the path reveals itself. Whether you cut the ego with the sharp sword of Neti Neti discernment or lose yourself in the sweet melody of the name Ram, both paths ultimately lead to the same supreme experience. And even if the attainment of that ultimate truth does not happen immediately, merely walking the path of spiritual practice brings a clarity and direction to life in which fear diminishes and love increases, ego lessens, and compassion grows. This is the achievement of this infinite spiritual practice. This conversation will sometimes confuse you, sometimes clarify things, but this is the real journey of learning. If you want to continue this spiritual journey, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Every week we share new insights related to Vedanta and the tradition of saints, which will make you think. Be sure to share this video with your friends and family and tell them Kabir and the Upanishads are two crops from the same field. Only the taste and color are different. Be sure to write in your comment what was the moment in your life when you experienced Brahm Anubhuti or deep inner peace. Such experiences connect us to each other and make this journey meaningful.